Good morning, everyone. Today is August 7, 2026, at exactly 10:27 a.m. We'll be having briefing conference for 17th City Board's quarter. So to start with, I request any input as soon as for the review.
Every father, regardless of day for the previous conference, we ask for your guidance to discuss the details of this conference and the responsibilities entrusted to us.
So for the determination of the quorum, I request the mental service.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the live streaming for the conduct of the briefing conference for civil works projects for FY 2026. I would like to present the participants for today's activity. Engineer Lacayon, Dr. President.
Present.
Mr. Dan Mosquera, Vice Chairperson. Engineer Robert Sangliano, Regular Member. Engineer Melchor Anas, Provisional Member. Engineer Jose Toque Jr., Provisional Member, and User for Construction Project. Engineer Martin J. Boquero, Head DWG. Engineer Selection Plaza Jr., Member DWG. Engineer Koya Jose, Member DWG. Engineer Richard Bianson, Member DWG. Engineer Jomar Onsod, Member DWG. Engineer Francis Leo Calao, Member DWG. Engineer Junmar Manalo, Member DWG. Engineer Harold Rivada, Member DWG. Engineer Wajid Barapia, Member DWG. Yours truly, Engineer Telmas Mendez, Head Box Secretariat. Engineer and Angel Espines, Member Box Secretariat. Architect Golden Vice Member Box Secretariat. Mrs. Sunshine San Miguel, Member Box Secretariat. Mrs. Bugasong, Member Box Secretariat.
Present.
Mrs. Julita Aban, Member Box Secretariat. Mrs. Mary Christy Lapani, Member Box Secretariat.
Present.
So there is a forum. We have also invited observers of this activity that they are not around. And also we would like to acknowledge our viewers who are watching via our live streaming on our YouTube account. I will now turn over the microphone to our board chairperson, Engineer Rafi Gomez, for the private conference topic.
Thank you, Engineer Sendas. Now, since the order is already ready, we'll proceed to the briefing conference proper. So, to discuss the details of the project, I request Engineer Liu Fast.
For the first project, contract ID number 26 UB0033 is repeat. Name of contract, construction of other building, construction of 1 unit, 1 CL in Iraya Elementary School, School ID 115073, Poblacion, 5, Hamtic, with coordinates of 10.704, 24, and 121.98901. Location, Hamtic. Scope of works, construction of 1 unit, 1 story, 2 CL. Approved budget for the contract, 5,880,000 pesos on the contract duration, 174 calendar days, including predetermined allocable days. Source of fund FY 2026 AFP based on GAA. Cost of building increments, 10,000 pesos. The SSS range, small b. Next project, 26 GP 0139, repeat. Construction of other building, construction of 1 unit, 1 story, 3 CL in Lacayon Elementary School, School ID 114992, Lacayon, Bugasong, Antique, with coordinates of 11.047800 and 122.0788820. Location, Bugasong, Antique. Scope of works, construction of 1 unit, 1 story, 3 CL. Approved budget for the contract, 7,938,000 pesos only. Contract duration, 121 calendar days, including predetermined and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026, KIP based on GLA. Also, the increments, 10,000 pesos only with vehicle license size range of small P. Next, project 26 DP 0141, repeat. Construction of other building, construction of one unit, one story, 3CL in Masanag Elementary School, school ID 115076, Masanag, Hamtic, Antique. The coordinates of 10.68944 and 122.02559. Location, Hamtic, Antique. Scope of works, construction of one unit, one story, 3CL. Approved budget for the contract, 7,938,000 pesos only. Contract duration, 121 calendar days, including predetermined and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026, IP based on GAA. Also, building documents, 10,000 pesos only with vehicle license size range of small P. Next project, 26 GP 0263, repeat. Construction of other building, construction of one unit, story for sale in Caluya National High School, school ID 302350, Poblacion, Caluya, Antique, coordinates of 11.936050 and 121.549555. Location, Caluya, Antique, scope of works, construction of one unit, two-story, 4CL. Approved budget for the contract, 10,420,000 pesos only. Contract duration, 107 calendar days, including predetermined and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026, KIP based on GAA. Possibility to next 25,000 pesos. Vehicle license size range is small P. Next project, 26 GP 0265, repeat. Construction of other building, construction of one unit, two-story, 4CL in Tigma Valley, ES. School ID 115407, Barangay Tigmamali, Municipality of Iraya, Province of Antique. With coordinates of 10.987230 and 122.091160. Location, Iraya, Antique. Scope of works, construction of one unit, two-story, 4CL. Approved budget for the contract, 11,760,000 pesos only. Contract duration, 127 calendar days, including predetermined and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026, IP based on GAA. Also, the documents, 25,000 pesos only with vehicle license size range of small P. Next project, 26 GP 0267, repeat. Construction of other building, construction of one unit, two-story, 4CL, and Itsuro Integrated Schools, school ID 502199, Itsuro, Bugasong, Antique. With coordinates of 11.11214 and 122.15046. Location, Bugasong, Antique. Scope of works, construction of one unit, two-story, 4CL. Approved budget for the contract, 10,220,000 pesos only. Contract duration, 127 calendar days, including predetermined and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026, IP based on DAA. Also, the documents, 25,000 pesos only with vehicle license size range of small P. Next project, 26 CP 0273, repeat. Construction of other building, construction of 3 units, one story, 2CL in Tabong, Elementary School, school ID 115332, Tabong, Mabasa, Antique. With coordinates of 11.16825 and 122.08281. Location, Mabasa, Antique. Scope of works, construction of 3 unit, one story, 2CL. Approved budget for the contract, 17,640,000 pesos only. Contract duration, 114 calendar days, including predetermined and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026, IP based on GLA. Possibility to demands, 35,000 pesos with vehicle license size range of small P. Next project, 26 GP 0276, repeat. Construction of other building, construction of one unit, one story, 2CL in Lacayon Elementary School, school ID 115158, Lacayon, Pandan, Antique, with coordinates of 11.6932 and 122.17134. Location, Pandan, Antique. Scope of work, construction of 1 unit, 1 story, 2 CL. Approved budget for the contract, 5,526,000 pesos. Contract duration, 186 calendar days, including pre-closing and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026 AIP based on DAA. Cost of bidding documents, 10,000 pesos. Bidding license registration, small fee. Next project is GP 0277, repeat, construction of other building, construction of 1 unit, 1 story 2 CL in Maagos Elementary School, school ID 115156, Maagos, Pandan, Antique, with coordinates of 11.6662 and 122.1716, location, Pandan, Antique. Scope of works, construction of 1 unit, 1 story 2 CL. Approved budget for the contract, 5,880,000 pesos. Contract duration 156 calendar days, including pre-department and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026 AIP based on GAA. Cost of bidding commence, 10,000 pesos. Typical license registration, small fee. Next project is GP 0278, repeat. Construction of other building, construction of 1 unit, 1 story 3 CL in Santa Ana, ES, school ID 115166, Barangay Santa Ana, Municipality of Pandan, Province of Antique, with coordinates of 11.7368464 and 123.1494406. Location, Pandan, Antique. Scope of works, construction of 1 unit, 1 story 3 CL. Approved budget for the contract, 7,938,000 pesos. Contract duration, 107 calendar days, including pre-treatment and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026 AIP based on DAA. Cost of bidding documents, 10,000 pesos. Repeat license registration, small fee. Next project, 26 0281, repeat. Construction of multi-purpose building, construction of multi-purpose building covered part, Barangay Iraya, Caluya, Antique. With coordinates of 12.010833 and 121.1389. Location, Caluya, Antique. Scope of works, construction of multi-purpose building covered part. Approved budget for the contract, 4,950,000 pesos. Contract duration, 196 calendar days, including pre-determined and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026 AIP based on GAA. Cost of bidding documents, 5,000 pesos only with pickup license registration, small fee. Next project is GP 0282, repeat. Construction of multi-purpose building, construction of multi-purpose building, 2-story barangay hall, Barangay Unsod, Valderrama, Antique. With coordinates of 11.025034 and 122.139733. Location, Valderrama, Antique. Scope of works, construction of multi-purpose building, 2-story barangay hall. Approved budget for the contract, 4,950,000 pesos only. Contract duration, 163 calendar days, including pre-determined and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026 AIP based on GAA. Cost of bidding documents, 5,000 pesos only with pickup license and small fee. Next project is GP 0284, repeat. Construction of multi-purpose building, construction of multi-purpose building, covered court, Barangay Hall, Impact, Caluya, Antique. With coordinates of 11.956111 and 121.55111. Location, Caluya, Antique. Scope of works, construction of multi-purpose building, covered court. Approved budget for the contract, 4,950,000 pesos only. Contract duration, 106 calendar days, including pre-determined and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026 AIP based on GAA. Cost of bidding documents, 5,000 pesos only with legal license registration, small fee. Next project is GP 0285, repeat. Construction of multi-purpose building, construction of multi-purpose building, covered court, Barangay Poblacion, Caluya, Antique. With coordinates of 11.931 000 and 121.547600. Location, Caluya, Antique. Scope of works, construction of multi-purpose building, covered court. Approved budget for the contract, 4,950,000 pesos only. Contract duration, 196 calendar days, including with predetermined and workable days. Source of fund FY 2026 IT based on GAA. Also billing documents, 5,000 pesos only will be license, inflation, small d. Next project, 26 GP 0286, repeat. Construction of multi-purpose building, one story with deck, barangay hall, barangay Napulit, Pandan, and Tike, with coordinates of 11.692863 and 122.171186. Location, Pandan, and Tike. Two works, construction of multi-purpose building, one story with deck, barangay hall. Approved budget for the contract, 4,950,000 pesos only. Contract duration, 189 calendar days, including predetermined and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026, AAP based on GAA. Also billing difference, 5,000 pesos only with picker license, essential, small b. Next project, 6 GB 0288, repeat. Construction of multi-purpose building, North Court, Barangay Caluya, Sibalan, Hamtic, with coordinates of 10.178200 and 122.090870. Location, Sibalan, Hamtic. Scope of works, construction of multi-purpose building, North Court. Approved budget for the contract, 4,950,000 pesos only. Contract duration, 183 calendar days, including 2013 and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026 IP based on GAA. Also billing documents, 5,000 pesos only with picker license, mentioned, small b. Next project, 26 GB 0489, complete. Construction of multi-purpose building, Covered Court, Barangay Kapita, Hamtic, and TH. With coordinates of 10.598280 and 122.017680. Location, Hamtic, and TH. Scope of works, construction of multi-purpose building, Covered Court. Approved budget for the contract, 4,950,000 pesos only. Contract duration, 175 calendar days, including predetermined and workable days. Source of fund, FY 2026 LP based on DEO. Also billing difference, 5,000 pesos only with picker license and state small b. For the next part, I request to be stock.
Review sir. Documents comprising the bid, first envelope, terminal component envelope. Letter A, field deed certificate of registration, Lacayon membership. In accordance with section 20 of RA 12009. Letter B, pick-up license and registration in case of death by occur. Letter C, statement of all ongoing government and private contract. Letter D, statement of SLCC. Letter E, NFCC computation. Letter F, good venture, if applicable. Letter G, bid security in the prescribed form amount of the validity period. Letter H, budget requirements which shall include the following. Number 1, organizational chart for the procurement project rebid. Number 2, list of contractors personnel such as project managers, engineers, materials engineers, and foreman to be assigned to the procurement project to be bid with their complete qualifications and experience data. Number 3, list of contractors major equipment units which are owned, leased, or under purchase agreements supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project as the case may be. Number 4, latest general information sheets reflecting the beneficial ownership information duly received by the Securities and Exchange Commission for corporations. Number 5, pursuant to DEO 110 series of 2024, the ISO 9001 2015 certification of its latest version as applicable as part of the project requirements in the bidding documents for infrastructure projects with pick-up size range large A Medium A and medium B contractors for projects costing more than 30 million. Submission of a valid certification is mandatory. Number 6, omnibus word statement in accordance with section 54.3 of RA 009. All bidders are obliged to fully and truthfully disclose all ongoing and awarded but not yet started contracts, including DPWH, other government and private contracts by submitting the revision of this statement. Failure to submit and declare ongoing and awarded but not yet started contract constitutes a ground for disqualification and imposition of arbitrary sanctions. Please refer to memorandum dated May 28, 2026 of Attorney Rio T. Spirito, Undersecretary for Support Services. Competitive bidding eligibility requirements. Failure of bidder to obtain cumulative certificate of registration, platinum membership with the current and updated supporting documents shall result in the automatic suspension of the bidder's certificate. Reference area number 12009 IRR section 20.2.9.2.b. For contract ID numbers 16GB0033 repeat, 16GB0139 repeat, 16GB0141 repeat, 16GB0263 repeat, 16GB0265 repeat, 16GB0267 repeat, 16GB0273 repeat, 16GB0276 repeat, 16GB0278 repeat, 16GB0281 repeat, 16GB0282 repeat, 16GB0284 repeat, 16GB0285 repeat, 16GB286 repeat, 16GB288 repeat, and 16GB0289 repeat. Major categories of work: DICWO PLC buildings, construction without vice, low vice concrete frame 1 to 5 stories. Similar categories of works: DICWP, HCCP, DICWP, HCCP 16, DICWP, L60P, DICWP, HCDP, DICWP, HCDP 16, DICWP, LCDP, DICWOP, HCBIOWOP, HC16, DICWP, MCDP, BIOWP, MCCP, DICWOP, MC. Minimum work experience requirements for key personnel. For project manager, 1 year minimum years of similar experience, same position, and 1 year minimum years of total work experience, same position. For accredited project engineer, 1 year minimum years of similar experience, same position, and 1 year minimum years of total work experience, same position. For materials engineer, 1 year minimum years of similar experience, same position, and 1 year minimum years of total work experience, same position. And for foreman, 5 years minimum years of similar experience, same position, and 5 years minimum years of total work experience, same position. Only accredited project engineers may be assigned to DPWH projects, subject to the following limits of assignment as per DEO 169 series of 2025. Project engineer 2, 10 contracts located within the same region for simultaneous assignments, but with an aggregate cost of 1.5 million pesos. For project engineer 1, 10 contracts located within the same region for simultaneous assignments, each costing not more than 150 million, but with an aggregate cost of 1 billion pesos. For provisional project engineer, 10 contracts located within the same region for simultaneous assignments, each costing more, not more than 100 million, but with an aggregate cost of 500 million pesos. New major equipment requirements for contract ID numbers 16GB0033 16GB0139 16GB0141 16GB0263 16GB0265 16GB0267 16GB0273 16GB0276 16GB 0278 repeat, 26GB 0281 repeat, 26GB 0282 repeat, 26GB 0284 repeat, 26GB 0285 repeat, 26GB 0286 repeat, 26GB 0288 repeat, and 26GB 0289 repeat. For equipment, cargo or service truck with 2 to 5 metric ton, 160 horsepower capacity, one bugger mixer, 4 to 6 cubic feet per minute, capacity 1. Second envelope, financial component envelope. Letter A, original of duties signed and accomplished financial bid form. Letter B, original of duties signed bid prices in the bill of quantities. Letter C, duly accomplished detailed estimate form including a summary sheet indicating the unit prices of construction materials, labor rates, and equipment rentals used in coming up with the bid. Letter D, cash flow by quarter. Most of the personnel and equipment requirements of the project as per DEO number 09 series of 2012, technical requirements for civil works projects for public bidding. If a proposed key technical personnel is an employee of the bidder and working on another project at the same time on the bidding, the bidder should submit a certification that number 1, the personnel will be put out from the ongoing project once the bidder is awarded the contract. Number 2, he or she will be replaced with another person with equal or better qualifications as certified by the head of the implementing office. The bidder may propose a key technical personnel who is not its employee, provided that that personnel is required to submit a certification that he or she will work for the bidder if it is awarded the contract under bidding. These certifications shall be included in the first envelope of the sealed bid. Also, to be verified during post-qualification is the list of equipment matched by the bidder. The bidder should specify in the submitted bid the location of the equipment where they can be inspected. If any equipment is not in the specified location, then the bidder shall be post-disqualified. Note, under paragraph 10 of the invitation to bid states that only authorized liaison officer duly registered its civil works application of the DPWH central office with the presentation with his or her ID shall allow to transact, purchase, and drop bids or manual submission. Section 8, bill of quantities, signature box. A signature box can be added at the bottom of each page of the bill of quantities where the authorized representative of the bidder shall affix his signature. Failure of the authorized representative to sign each and every page of the bill of quantities shall be a cause of rejection of this bid. Bid security. The bidder shall submit a bid security declaration or any form of bid security. Letter A, class of issuers, managers shall issue by law. 2% of ABC. Letter B, bankrupt or guarantee or irrevocable letter of credit issued by bank 5% of ABC. Letter C, surety bond callable upon demand issued by surety or insurance company duly certified by the insurance commission as authorized to issue such security, 5% of ABC. Letter D, bid security declaration, no percentage required. Bid security shall be valid for 120 calendar days from the date of opening of bids. Sealing and warning and marking of bids. Bidders that enclose the technical documents described in ITV clause 12 in one seat and below marked technical component. The financial component in another seat and below marked financial component. Sealing and all in other envelope marked B. The bid classificated to be documents shall be typed, committed B, and shall be signed by the bidder to be authorized representative. All envelopes shall letter A contain the name of contract to be bid in capital letters. Letter B, here the name and address of the bidder in capital letters. Letter C, be addressed to the procuring entities bank in accordance with ITV clause 1.1. Letter D, here the specific identification of this bidding process indicated in the ITV clause 1.1. Letter E, here a warning to not open before the date and time for the opening of bids in accordance with ITV clause 1.9. For manually submitted bid envelopes that are not properly sealed and marked as required in the bidding documents, the same shall be accepted, provided that the bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. Number 2, on the other hand, unsealed or unmarked bid envelopes or bids that cannot be opened or corrupted in case of online submission shall be rejected. The bank shall assume no responsibility for misplaced or lost contents of the improperly sealed or marked bid or for its particular opening. Deadline for submission of bids. The deadline for the submission of bids is on August 20, 2026, 10 a.m. Opening and preliminary submission of bids. The bank shall open the bids for producing a non-discretionary pass with criterion at the time, on the date, and at the place specified in paragraph 9 of the invitation to bid. The preliminary examination fee shall be covered by section 59 of the IRR of Lacayon number 12009. Detailed evaluation of comparison of bids. The bank shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids rated pass using non-discretionary pass fail criteria. The bank shall consider the conditions of evaluation of bids under section 61 of the IRR of Lacayon number 12009 to determine lowest calculated bids such as 1. Completeness of the bids, unless the instruction of the bidders, instruction to bidders specifically allow parts of bids, bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including where applicable, bid of quantities shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. However, when no points are zero or done indicated in the required item in the bid form, the same shall be construed that it's being offered for free to the government. Some those required by law or regulations to be provided for. Arithmetical corrections. The bank shall consider computational errors and omissions to make a proper comparison of all individual bids. It may also consider bid modifications expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to generate the calculated prices. Section 61.2.3 of Lacayon 12009. In case of discrepancies between Bid prices and figures and awards, the latter shall prevail. Total price per item, unit price for the item is extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. State that total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. Unit cost is the declared estimate, unit cost the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. Amount in price schedule and in bid form, the latter shall prevail. Post qualification. The post qualification shall verify, validate, and certain all statements and documents, licenses, certificates submitted by the LCB. The criteria shall consider that shall not be limited to the following. That there are 8 legal requirements to verify, validate, and certain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder. The fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in section 12.3 of the IRR. That will be technical requirements to determine compliance of the infrastructure projects offered with the requirements specified in the bidding documents, including where applicable. Verification of validation of the bidder's stated competence and experience, and the competence and experience of the bidder's personnel to be assigned to the project for the procurement of infrastructure projects. Verification of availability, commitment, and or inspection testing for the required capacities and operating conditions of equipment units to be owned, leased, and purchased by the bidder for use in the contract under bidding, as well as checking the performance of the bidder needs. Ongoing government and private contracts, if any of these ongoing contracts shows that there are any negative slippage of at least 50% in any one project or a negative slippage of at least 10% in each of 2 or more contracts. That will be a failure of the contractor to commence repair works on ongoing contracts within 7 calendar days and to complete them within 30 calendar days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defense of deficiencies. That will see failure of the contractor to commence repair works on contracts with pending certificates of acceptance within 30 calendar days. Complete them within 90 days after receipt of the procuring entity's notice of defense and period. That there is a standard political work as per contract plans and specifications or unsatisfactory performance of the contractor's obligations, contractors' and conditions at the time of inspection. Financial requirements to verify, validate, and ascertain the bid price proposal of the bidder and the bidder's NLCC to ensure that the bidder can sustain the operating cash flow of the transaction. Section 63 will include bidder within a non-extendable period of 5 calendar days from receipt of notice from the ABC. From the bank that it submitted the LCP shall submit all the eligibility documents supporting its plaintiff's certificate of registration, banking membership, its latest income and business tax returns, filing for the preceding quarter which should not be earlier than 2 quarters from the date of submission and receipt of bid, and other appropriate licenses that are required by law of state and the BTS. Failure to submit any of the box liquidation requirements on time or filing against the LCP shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that the filing against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cost the forfeiture of the bid's security. Signing of the contract. The documents required in section 66.5 of the IRR of RA number 12009 shall require shall form part of the contract. Additional contract documents certificated in the BDS.
Thank you, Engineer Joe. Any other concerns or clarifications or specific papers? So if not, our pre-bid conference ended at 11:07. Thank you very much.